So we ended in this organized cloud visualization, and we noted that the credit score was lacking for the people that just submitted their loan. And we want to calculate or predict the credit score they have. So we're going to ask the data scientist to do that. And a data scientist typically works in notebooks. And we're not going to explain, of course, the Python code in detail, but we are going to explain shortly how to actually build. A data scientist would build and run a machine learning model in Oracle Cloud using Oracle Data Science. So we're going to build actually a credit scoring model using that. First thing we have to do is to run some import. These are Python packages we can import. You see this button here, and when it's a figure like that, it's done. We're going to authenticate ourselves. It's me. This is me working in Oracle Cloud. I'm authenticated to do stuff. And we're going to build a very small machine learning model. First, of course, we have to read in the data. And we're going to leave the data in a data frame, in a data pandas data frame, and we're going to show the data shortly. There are over 13K rows, so it takes a couple of seconds to actually load the data. But the data is the same thing as you saw before, like age, gender, all these type of things that we can use to predict. So for example, we see a customer ID, that's a person. We see the age of this person, the income, his status, the wealth. We have a lot of information whether or not. You also see here loan status, submitted, approved, in progress, submitted, approved. So there are people that already approved, and there are people that submitted. And we are going to only filter on the submitted people, and we're going to build a credit score model for that. First thing we have to do is we have to create a couple of functions. These functions are used to actually convert, for example, a male to a 0, a female to a 1, a married person to a 1, etc. We're going to need that because the model actually doesn't work with, let's say, string variables, but we need numerical values. This is the part where we actually build a machine learning model. We're not going to explain everything to it, but it's a fairly simple one. It's a linear regression model, and this is, let's say, the model. So that's what we do. We say, okay, we want these information. So we take age, marital status, loan type, loan amount, loan length, and gender to predict the credit score. And so from historical, we already know the credit score, but we're now going to use this information to predict the credit score. So we built a linear model to that. We actually did that in a second. So next thing we are going to do, we're going to deploy the machine learning model. And to do that, first we have to store the model in the model catalog. And we can simply run this script, which will create a couple of files in this folder here. And we're actually going to store that model in the model catalog. So we're going to do that. It's stored in the model catalog. So remember this name, ALR, a credit scoring model. When I go to data science and we go to the model catalog, it actually now Lily is there. So we can see it here, ALR credit scoring model. This Lily happened right now. So it's stored in the model catalog. The next step is to go to model deployment and deploy it so we can actually start using it. I can also run it in the notebook, of course, but this is typically how a data science project would work. So we can run this simple script here to actually deploy the model. We're going to take the model and we're going to deploy it. This takes a minute. So the model is deployed. We can move forward, and this takes a couple of minutes. But due to the frameworks, the standard frameworks like sklearn, PyTorch, etc., we can do this very simply and easy. It returns a endpoint. This is the endpoint, as you can see here. Let me copy that. I'm now going to actually invoke the model. First, we're going to do an example, a very simple example. So imagine this is person number 29. You can also do it number 30. And we're going to actually predict with this script here, we're actually going to invoke it. So the predicted credit score for ID 29, which let's say Harry Kane, is 8 point something. We can change this to, let's say, 30 or any other number for the new ones, and we can make a new prediction. That's relatively similar. The credit scores are relatively similar for this one. Next one, we're going to apply this to all the new loans and all that were submitted to the loan. So let's take all the ones that were submitted. Those are these. We have only loans submitted, loan status, all of them are submitted. These are the new ones with age, status, loan type, loan amount, loan length, and the gender. And we're going to apply for each one of them, going to predict the credit score. We're going to actually employ run to the deployed model. So let's run this. So you're going to add a timer. So new applicant 1 has a predicted score of 8 point something. New applicant 2 has also 8 point something. They're relatively close to each other. 3 has 8 something, 4, 5. I'm going to do this more and more.